Hello, everybody. Another week, another After Dark. My name is Aaron Knoll, and we are back once again bringing you all the latest discussion, movie news, yada, 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 whatever it is that we do here. Um, we're back with the usual crew. We're going to discuss, as we said, some WandaVision tonight. We're going to have a little bit of a discussion about the future of Star Wars, although I'd say less controversial than last week's, but let's be real, Rian Johnson is all around Star Wars controversy and some other smaller news topics. But like I said, we got the regulars with us tonight. Let's round table them real quick. We got Mr. Beer here making a prediction for is this the NFL?
Yes, it is.
Red Beer!
I'm going to address my name I chose really quick. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, he won't win MVP. He stinks. He stinks. Guess what? Had no offensive line to protect him. No run game until the end of the season. Nobody to throw to, because everybody that he could throw to that could actually catch the ball either sucked after 3 games or just got hurt. He's going to a team with a great offensive line. He's going to a team with a great running game. He's got some reliable receivers. He's going to get more weapons. And he's got a great defense. And he's got a great coach. And he's back.
He's going to have weapons?
He's going to have weapons. He's going guns a-blazing there.
Oh, no.
Guns a-blazing. But the year that he would have won MVP prior to his injury, he had an offensive coordinator who is now his new head coach. So he will win MVP. And that's a fact.
It is, the name looks sort of familiar. Is this like a recent trade? Because a gentleman's face was all over the TVs the other day while I was at Buffalo Wild Wings. I can only assume this is related to that.
Yes. It happened 2-3 days ago. Okay. He's a ginger. He's a hunter. He loves God, country, hunting. That's him.
God?
Country, hunting.
Well,
Carson
he's
Wentz.
a ginger with no soul, which means he's definitely in contention to win an award. Let's go ahead and move on to, he is a Nicky without a Devin. Nicky is here. What's up, man?
I don't know.
This is the way.
I'm deeply confused all the time. I'm questioning the constructs of my reality. Got a lightsaber here. That's still kind of cool. But, yeah, everything
that's
else.
When he watches WandaVision.
Yeah, oh yeah. It lights up red when I watch WandaVision. I probably watched that episode of WandaVision like 30 times already. But I just have nothing else to do but watch WandaVision and just hit restart. Just so much Wanda. A little bit of vision.
And let's move on to an intro that'll be less awkward than that. We are joined by Mr. Grant. How's it going, man?
Going good. I just want to also address my name. It says Grant down there. The reason why I put that one is because when I was born, that was the name that my mother chose for me. So I just thought I'd clear that up, yeah. I also watched WandaVision. So, yeah, there's that.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, I assume, Nikki, I assume your name was also your given birth name down there?
No, Devin just didn't show up.
Ah, okay. My name was actually, I was given a different name at birth, but in 2011 by a man named Keegan-Michael Key, I was renamed forever. I feel like that sketch was later than 2011, but I don't care.
That's confusing.
There you go.
But yeah, so guys,
story
we're here
behind
tonight. Behind what?
You named yourself after Keegan-Michael Key?
No. Aaron was popularized through the sketch. They're one of their sketches.
Substitution teacher sketch.
Illiterate.
Yeah, the guy the one where he's illiterate. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And he yells at Jack Quillen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, somebody called you Aaron. I'm like, are these people illiterate? Like, what the hell is wrong?
No, my name is now forever among the ranks of Jaqueline and Balake and D-Nice and all the other names that will forever be purposefully messed up because 2 funny guys made a joke out of it.
Oh, wow.
Now I'm just waiting for the Jordan Peele horror film with all those characters' names in it. I feel like that's something that will happen eventually. He'll just cross back over into comedy for some reason. All right, that'll happen too. So let's go ahead and get into it, guys. Well, actually, I'll leave it up to you guys. Do we want to do WandaVision first, or we want to do the Rian Johnson thing? We can do either one.
I love WandaVision.
Let's do either. Let's flip a coin.
Yeah.
Let's flip a coin.
Flip a coin. I have coins.
WandaVision. It's the thumbnail, man. WandaVision.
I have a coin.
All right,
flip
Nikki's. All right, we'll flip.
Can you use my hex powers on that coin?
Penny. Heads
Grant
is
looks
for
like
Rian
he's questioning
Johnson.
why he's here right now.
So heads is for
I'm gonna
Rian
do
Johnson.
that in CGI. You're gonna
because
have
of
red
big
shit
brain.
on there.
Because Rian Johnson has a big brain, and tails is for WandaVision because we're at the tail end of the season. So I'm gonna.
Okay.
That's what you think.
And it is tails.
All
I
right.
thought you just dropped it into a can of other coins.
Now I flipped it.
Like, I literally thought that was what happened. Like it
I
landed
flipped
in
it.
other.
It is absolutely tails.
Yeah.
All right. So
All
let's
right, so we're
get to
doing
it,
one,
guys.
right?
Yep. This week, episode 7 of WandaVision aired. The last time we did it, like a full-on huge segment discussion of it, was about 2 weeks ago. So we figure, why not do another one? We've had 2 episodes since. I know you guys briefly discussed the other one last week for a few minutes, but let's get into it. We'll go around the horn. I'll start down with Nikki first. What were your thoughts on last week's episode? And if you want to go into the previous week's episode as well, you can. Yeah, go ahead.
So we'll cover both of them. There's as far as like last week's episode, the whole entire Pietro thing, we talked that a little bit. We only talked about it for a little bit, but I think we got a lot of our thoughts in. So I didn't think that was Pietro. Wanda doesn't think it's Pietro. So that was said this week. And yeah, I think Chris Diaz in the comments. Hey Chris, you're always there. He said that the biggest twist that we always saw coming was the Agatha Harkness, the Agnes smushed together, and that is always what I thought. Like she has that little brooch with like the 3 witches. I think it does have a connection to that deleted scene with the whole entire Water of Sight, with Avengers: Age of Ultron about the 3. They're called something, not the Fates, but the something else.
I can find it for you if
You
you
can
want to
find it. Yeah, Aaron, you'll find it. But there's on her brooch. There's 3 women, and the like dungeon thing that was really cool. It looked like there was a Groot growing out of like that dungeon. But the Nexus, I think the Nexus was the most important part of this episode, and it's just like the throwaway antidepressant ad because in the comic books, and this is a comic book thing, Mephisto is one of those Nexus characters where no matter what universe you're in, no matter what Earth you're on, there's only one Mephisto. So that one Mephisto would be able to see into the Fox universe to know what Evan Peters' Quicksilver looks like, but also be able to have the knowledge of the Prime MCU universe so that he could fill that Pietro shell with all those things that he said in the last episode. And I'm really glad that that's definitively, like Wanda said, that's not Pietro, because he was kind of a dick, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah. He
kind of acted like that in the Fox movies too, where he was kind of dickish.
Yeah, but he was like a lovable dick, you know?
Yeah,
lovable
but
dick.
You gotta remember, this fits like each episode well until now. It's based off of a different decade of sitcoms.
Yeah.
In that decade, that was the older brother,
essentially
of Malcolm in the Middle, and he wasn't a nice guy. He was a dick too.
If
so
I acted like
that's
my
what
sister
they were
would kill
going
me.
for with him.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then Vision was like Bryan Cranston.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I love the Kat
Dennings
Vision road trip stuff.
Yeah.
The Office style, Modern Family style, talking to the camera. I thought that was a really good episode for this, especially since I don't think we're getting another like immersive sitcom style episode. Like I think that part's done. I think it's just widescreen aspect ratio from now on. We're in the MCU, and that book at the end. I know it doesn't look like it did on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but damn it, that's the Darkhold. That is absolutely the Darkhold. You don't think it's the Darkhold?
Nope.
What is it?
It's not the Darkhold. Darkhold's completely different shape, different colours coming off it and everything. And Coulson got rid of that, so...
the Darkhold morphs. He gave it to Robbie Reyes. And like, people argue like whether that universe is canon. I like to think it is. If that is the Darkhold, I'm still going to think that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon, but that almost seems like a Nexus room because like there were these hexagonal things and they almost looked like doorways, and they could have been like doorways to other universe. Like if she goes up the stairs in that doorway, she gets in one universe. She goes up the stairs, and I'm just going off like that could be further from the truth. One of the creepiest things though, if you look behind Wanda, there's a giant like tarp, like a shower curtain tarp that has blood on it. So Agnes killed somebody.
She ate the children.
She killed the kids.
Oh,
Like I said,
that's
at some
horrible.
point, kids are going to be gone.
Yeah.
I didn't think they'd kill them, but they're dead.
No. I think
she's going to use that to bring Ralph, aka Mephisto, into the show, because Mephisto 100%.
Played by Evan Peters?
No, it's not going to be Evan Peters, because Evan Peters. Remember, we see in the show she also has magic. She's controlling him like she's going to be controlling Wanda. So that's why I 100% am convinced that this is the Fox version, because I think the multiverse started to crack open. Charles Xavier saw something in there, saw Wanda was doing this thing, sent him there, because if he said Pietro, that's going to maybe bring her back to reality and get her to stop it. But as he got in there, because remember, before we see him, the alarms are going off in, Earth, like outside of the Hex. Remember, when Wanda comes out of it, the alarms are going off. When... Was
that her, though?
Was that Wanda coming out?
Was that Wanda? Because Loki...
In episode 5, it absolutely was. It was absolutely Wanda in episode 5. Yes, because she comes out with her Russian accent. That's when she's upset. I think they use the accent when she's mad. So the alarms are going off. When somebody enters that area, like, we got Monica entering when she got thrown out. Yeah. The alarms went off. Wanda, alarms went off. Pietro from Foxverse comes into Earth. The alarms went off because somebody's entering the thing. He goes into the Hex. And as he gets there, I think Agnes knows, okay, that's actually, that guy shouldn't be here. Let's control him. Like, I think she knows.
You brought up the best point, the alarms. The alarms. I haven't heard anybody on the internet say the alarms.
I've been saying this for 2 weeks, too.
The alarms go off, and then Darcy runs by the TV and sees that it's Evan Peters, but they never really show what the other people are going after. It seems like they're just reacting to, like, the Wanda situation that just happened, but it might be something else. The reason I didn't think that was Wanda was because, like, the Sokovian accent was coming through, and because it's the costume that they showed in both, like, Age of Ultron, or not Age of Ultron, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. So I thought maybe Agatha saw that on TV and then did, like, the Loki projection style magic, put her out there to scapegoat her to make her look like the villain, and Wanda actually has no clue that she's affecting other people.
No, I think to me that's a case of a little, and I was talking about it with my friend this week. I think this show is actually developing something very interesting on the internet, in that, I'm going to shout out another, bigger than us obviously, but another YouTuber who I'm a fan of, a video game reviewer by the name of Angry Joe, who's been doing reviews of WandaVision, and he pointed out something in one of his reviews that I agree with, where he said the internet being such a huge predictor behind the show and having the time to go so crazy with their theories that people are actually going to be disappointed by the show going with the most obvious choice for its thing. And that's why we saw this week the internet's reaction to the reveal that Agnes was Agatha Harkness was, oh, duh, why wasn't that revealed earlier? And it's like, well, because the show's not made with the thought of these people are going to spend 6 months really overthinking it. And so, to me, I think, like what Nikki's suggesting, to me, that's a case of overthinking it. I think it's as simple as she saw her family get threatened. She came out to defend them. I think the reason the accent comes back is because she has the accent still in the real world. In what is her perfect reality, she does not carry the accent.
And she was hiding the accent much like Natasha does. Like that's something, like, if you watch, like, Civil War, Natasha was, like, training her in spycraft. And that was definitely something she was doing because Natasha was telling her to. She was trying to emulate Natasha in that way because Natasha threw her accent away, and she's trying to, like, blend in undercover. She was trying to get people not to notice her, like, as much as possible. Much like at the beginning of this series where, like, that lady kind of broke, but I don't believe you. She's like, we're not trying to hurt anyone. And there's still kind of that hostility towards them. That was a great thing. Yeah, Catherine Hahn doing the vocals on there as well.
Can I just say?
I didn't mean to cut you off before. You just had a great point with the alarms.
Oh, you're good.
Can I just say though? But yeah. So like the point I was making is, I think that people are actually putting themselves in a position where they're going to be disappointed. Because I've seen, and obviously the internet's an extreme, but I've seen comments on the internet where people are like, if the astrophysicist or whatever it is isn't Reed Richards, then what was the point in even building something out of it? And it's like, well, they're not building it with the intent of you overthinking this. Like, you can't. And I said, well, I compared it to, and I wonder if anybody else thinks I'm a little crazy for this comparison, but I compared it to The Last Jedi. Right? Now, hear me out. Obviously, there are people who don't like The Last Jedi for legitimate reasons. And as someone who likes the film, if there's someone who doesn't like it, like they have actual problems with the filmmaking behind it, I can totally respect that because it's an opinion. But the internet went very crazy when that film came out, hating it simply because it didn't do what they wanted it to. And I often found a number of people I spoke with didn't have any other legitimate criticisms. They just didn't like that it didn't do what they wanted it to do. And now, a few years later, with that anger subsiding, I've had some friends rewatch the film and actually like it now because they're past whatever that weird thing was that hit them. And some still maintain they have their reasons they don't like it. And again, I respect that. I think that's what this show may end up suffering a little bit of, is I think people have gone so far into the overly speculative thing that if this show doesn't do what they're now attached to as their theory, they may start to feel disappointment towards the show.
I think it's immune to that, though.
And that'll be something that will possibly subside over time. But I think it's a really weird position to be in, with fan culture being so speculative and so informed about things that they're becoming attached to all these possible connections that they like. I know for a fact that if the MCU casts anybody other than John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, there will be internet outrage. And for that reason, I want them to cast someone else other than John Krasinski. Just to say, we don't have to subside to you. There are other options we can go with. Greg, you've been very quiet, man. What are your thoughts? Go into it.
I think it was the worst episode so far.
I agree.
Good.
I mean, let's just look at it from a within world storytelling sort of thing.
Yeah, Malcolm, you're right.
Why the hell is Vision getting in the car with her and driving off? He remembered everything else. I mean, and that's the problem. That's like, so you're going to make all your male characters idiots now.
Yeah.
When Rambeau went through the thing, and then they did the freaking Captain Marvel thing, where it's like, you're the best ever, you're fantastic. They're telling us that she's good without actually giving any effort to show us why she's good. And I hate, it's the laziest form of storytelling, and I absolutely hate that. She gets the powers, and then goes, oh, and then doesn't react to it. She's a good actress. I like her. I think she's good in the role, but I think whoever wrote this was the worst episode, and it did her no favors, because all of it is they're just now turning her into the best of the best that can ever be, and she's gonna have no arc. Every single time that they're bringing in a female character now, she doesn't have to work for anything. She's already got the peak, and it's not enjoyable to watch, because all it does is make the characters come off snotty and bratty. Kat Dennings. I mean, I don't understand how Kat Dennings is able to knock out a strong man with that sort of punch, but I guess that's what she can do now. The fact of the matter is, if she is as outside of the real world as she's in there, because she's now the same person, why didn't she drive around? Why did she just wait? She's not the sort of person that sits there and waits. It made no sense.
Right.
No. They just put stuff in there, and I don't think that was Wanda putting stuff in the way. I actually think that was Agnes.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I didn't understand any of that, and then they've gone, oh well, Vision flew off in the end. But like, that makes no sense. They held him up there just for no reason, just so Rambeau and that could have a bit of a conversation. And I mean, yes, the reveal. I think everyone saw it coming, but I still think the reveal was done quite well, because even when it was going down, it wasn't just like, oh, by the way, I'm this. There was, what happened to the kids, and then the way in which they shot it and everything, it worked. So I'm not one of these people who, I mean, I was one of the ones early on and said, oh, I think it was the first episode. I think that's who it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because we only had like 5 people to discuss in that episode.
Right.
But I knew it was coming. I still thought they pulled it off all right. I thought the song and everything was very Munster-like, and I like the way that they did that.
Your hair looked crazy after like during the reveal, like it went all like witch-like.
Right.
And I mean, she killed the dog just so people go, oh well.
Oh yes,
I hate it because
and I killed Sparky too.
I'm so happy she did. I called that out.
You
I
are a
said
monster
she
if
killed
you're
the
happy.
dog, and I'm happy she did it because that dog was from hell.
You're a monster.
No, the dog wasn't from hell. I think the dog was not even from there because I think that's the reason why she got rid of it. I think the dog literally wandered in. It was just a stray dog.
Yeah.
You think it was just a stray? I think she put the dog.
Just kind of walked around.
She had all the stuff ready to go.
I mean, the only way that she'll do that is because she wants the kids to age up to the ripe old age where she can consume them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Basically.
That's what she wants. Yeah.
So I was gonna say, I've been putting up some of the comments on screen as I'm reading through them. I want to call this one out because I agree with you, but I think it's for the opposite reason. This is also, in my opinion, the worst episode of the show thus far. I didn't hate it, and it certainly had good points to it. But for me, one of the downsides of it was I actually didn't think they executed the Modern Family office style thing all that well, because one of the reasons they do it on that shows is they use those scenes as a way to provide either extra exposition or insight into a character's thoughts, and I didn't think they did anything constructive with it in this show that they couldn't have done with another format. And so to me, even though, the scene itself is executed well and it's funny, to me, them having Vision go, well, what am I doing this for? This is pointless, and flying off is like, no, it has been pointless. Why have we been doing talking heads the whole episode? Everything you've said, we could have found out through a natural... And to me, and that's a criticism I have on any show that does talking heads when they don't do it well, is what's the point in doing this? Because you're not adding anything to the show by doing this execution. You're just doing it to do it.
I feel like they're padding it out just to get a reveal at the end. They did it with episode 3. Episode 3, where the kids were born, was essentially a filler episode, just so they could do the big reveal of pushing it out.
And that was 10 minutes of chasing a stork.
It was nothing. And they've done that. It's now the third time that they've done that, where the episode is essentially null and void, and it's just for the reveal. Yes, you can say, well, it's because a lot of TV shows are like that and doing that. But the thing of it is, if they're going to call out a bad TV show or a style to do it, don't do it exactly the same way and add nothing else to it, because it's just lazy.
To respond to this, I did not see that hidden message in there. I'll have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that.
I missed the message. What did he say?
Apparently in the intro, there's a quick shot of a message. I know what you are doing, Wanda.
Huh. Yeah, I have to check that out. I didn't hear that.
I will say, and this is one of the things I've praised throughout the whole show, and I wanted to pull up their names to give them credit because I knew they were people I recognized. The theme song composers, Kristen Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez, who are amongst Disney fans most known for composing the score to Frozen. They do a great job with these intros, and I liked this one. And one of the things I liked is I liked how the theme song almost sounded like a mix of all the different shows it was trying to parody. Like I could hear a bit of The Office in there, and I could hear a bit of this in there.
I actually thought it was more the Goldberg sort of intro. To me, that's what it read more of with
it had
with
a
tapes and
mix
everything.
of that. Yeah. I think it was mixing a few different things.
Office. Like just enough like The Office, but just different so that they wouldn't get flagged by the YouTube algorithm.
Sorry guys, I don't mean to interrupt you. Thank you, Malcolm. Malcolm actually DM'd me the screenshot, so I'll download it and pull it up. Thank you, Malcolm.
I will say,
keep going, guys. I'll pull it up.
I will say I don't think Reed Richards is the friend that was talked about. I was talking first show. I think it's the Skrull that she was friends with, the little kid Skrull from Captain Marvel. I think that's who it is. But if it was Reed Richards, and let's say they did cast John Krasinski, I would have loved it if you had Jimmy and him go into the Hex, but it was their Office characters.
Office version,
the two Jims. I would have died.
Okay, here it is.
That is the funniest cold open they have ever had. Where he was Jim, but not Jim. Like the fake Jim. It was just so funny, and he was the perfect actor to do that with.
I missed this when watching the show, but that's cool. I like that they're doing. I like that they're doing stuff like that. Like this was
Yeah.
doing the Office thing of like flashing images across the screen. And
Yeah.
there's another show, I read it on
Russo
Wikipedia.
brothers.
There's another show
Yeah.
it was specifically imitating closely.
It was like Happy something or
Happy Endings. That's what it is.
Happy Endings.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Russo brothers worked on that.
Oh, did they? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
makes sense actually. But
if
yeah,
you read
so
the words,
I
you get more and more ridiculous as it goes on.
I like what they're doing though. I like that they're slipping stuff like that in.
Oh, yeah, I love
and
it.
It's how close are you paying attention to catch it? 'Cause
Yeah.
admittedly,
Right.
I was not.
Yeah,
Catherine Hahn
I-
actually was the voice of the director earlier. They just like pitch correct it to turn it
Oh,
down.
was it? Okay,
But,
cool.
Yeah, it's like they
Good
they
pitch
did
correction, because that sounded like a natural voice. That didn't sound fucked with.
This. Do you think it's what you deserve?
Okay, I see it. Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah. Yeah, and that's to say, like, I think this is the worst. In my opinion, it's the worst episode, simply because it's, and like we talked about this a little bit before we went live.
Yeah.
To me, I equate this to like a bad part one of a two-part movie, in that it's not that it's quality-wise it's bad. It's just it's running multiple different plots, and that you're focusing on the Wanda stuff, and then you have the Vision stuff, and you have the Monica stuff, and you have what's going on outside where they quickly show Hayward, and it's like, prepare the thing, we strike today. They never go back to it. And to me, it's like, okay, this is an entire episode that is simply dedicated to just setting stuff up, but it never actually pays anything off, right? Because we get the reveal, but obviously to most of us, it's a reveal that we were just kind of all waiting to happen. And so with that being said, we have, you know, the revelation that Wanda realizes she's not in control, but no payoff to it. We know Vision's gone back to meet her, but there's no payoff to it. We know Darcy's in the dome, and she's awake, but there's no payoff to it. We know Photon has hero powers, and there's no payoff to that. Obviously, there's the mid-credit scene, but again,
I actually think they're going for the Spectrum character, because the way in which they had the suit going down, it was more. But then with the, I mean, the Photon sort of powers, and then the hero power, that annoyed me so much, because I really enjoyed the character.
Yeah.
And then I think it's worse than exposition, because it's not just filling the things that's happening. It's telling us how to think and feel about this person by her not doing nothing but just literally walking through a wall. And I just
that way, because like it wasn't as bad as, like, I didn't like that in Captain Marvel. Like I thought like all like her standing.
It says you're the best, you're powerful, you shine the brightest. You know, it's just like it's all this positive affirmation to a character who didn't need that. She's not someone who's been down on herself and needs to realize that she's actually awesome. She knew she was awesome. She was pissed off she didn't get the higher position when she came back. She's not afraid to speak up to, I mean, she has no idea of insubordination and everything, because she talks to her superiors in the worst way possible. But she's not afraid of that, so she doesn't need that. It was completely out of place. If you were to give that to a character that had, like, that was, I mean, there isn't any feeble female characters in the show, so it's hard to do. Like, and as soon as she said she was going to go meet someone, I'm like, it'll be a female general or something like that. It'll be something like that. It won't be a bloke.
And so here's the thing, that plays into, because Malcolm dropped the comment where he says that the person that she met was who they were going to meet.
Yeah.
And again, this may be a thing of I need to rewatch it. I actually interpreted that differently, in that they were driving to meet somebody when the dome expanded, but when the episode opens, they're driving back towards the dome. So I actually think they were going to meet somebody, and then when the dome expanded, they kind of went, worst case scenario, and turned around. Because I forget the line, but there's a line when they first meet them of like, thanks for coming. I think they say something about like short notice or something like that. And it's about,
would appreciate your loyalty. And she said, you're not the only,
so,
she's not the only one we were loyal to.
Right. And so that's the thing is like, I saw some theory about that online, that people think that line's a reference to like Captain Marvel, like that person might be a Skrull.
Yeah.
I think they meant her mom. I don't think that's deeper. I think that's just, we're loyal to your mom, not to the position.
And I think they're loyal to her as a sword agent too, as an astronaut, because it was sentient world observation. Like Maria Rambeau started it as sentient world observation.
Right.
And then during the 5 years, Hayward pivoted and turned it into sentient weapon observation because he just wanted to create sentient weapons.
Right,
So,
right. Which
I
I can
do-
assume is what they were doing with Vision, right? That's why they
Yeah.
had Vision's body.
And you could refer to everyone as a sentient weapon. I mean, like Thaddeus Ross makes the joke in Civil War. If I lost 2 megaton nukes, there'd be consequences. Do you know where Thor and Banner are right now? Like the government and like the average human being in this universe use these people as weapons. Like they don't view
That's true.
them, they view them as weapons. Iron Man wasn't a person; he was a weapon.
Right.
So I do want to bring up this quote that the actress that plays Monica Rambeau,
She's
Tiana
great.
Paris.
Yeah.
This is what
Tiana
she
Paris,
said
yes.
about the aerospace engineer. Real quick, and this is why I think that maybe there's. That's why I'm thinking there's still a small chance it could be Reed Richards or somebody because she was interviewed about it, and then this is her exact quote. She says, I can't wait to see what y'all's reaction is when you learn who the aerospace engineer is. Everything about the show excites me. There are so many little surprises, things you don't expect. So, in keeping with the theme of the show has already set up, I'm always excited. So that makes me think maybe, because why would she be excited for us to meet them? That's why I think there's got to be more. That's why either
when you
it's
find
a
out
Skrull,
who
and
she
I'm kind
is.
of leaning more towards that, or it's somebody else. And I don't think it's going to be Reed Richards.
Can I just say, can they stop interviewing actors
I know.
after every single episode of the show
Oh,
drops?
yeah.
Because I think
And if
they're
you're gonna
making
do
it
it,
worse.
Mic them up properly.
Come on.
I
didn't include it in the couple news stories I pulled from this week, but Bettany also gave an interview where he made some more comments about how he was excited to work with the surprise special guest, and he made a comment like, "Oh, well, it's not Doctor Strange, and it's not anyone that anyone's guessed," and it's like, dude, can you just stop talking?
He said it's someone. He said it's someone that he's never worked with, and for major characters. That he's worked with Cumberbatch. There's 2 people that he hasn't worked with that would be a decent enough surprise. He's never worked with McKellen, and he's never worked with Larson.
Yeah.
Everyone else of the major characters.
McKellen in Da Vinci Code.
He has worked with McKellen in Da Vinci Code.
Yeah,
he did. Okay.
I don't think he worked with
there you go.
Patrick Stewart.
Sorry, Stewart. What did I say? Yeah, sorry, Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Sorry, what did I say, McKellen? Sorry.
These timelines are confusing, man.
They're setting something up. Because
I hope it's not X-Men.
Well, I think this
hope
episode.
It's not X-Men.
Well, so for me, I don't think it was the worst episode, but I put it in the bottom 3, bottom 2, maybe.
I think the first 2 were the worst.
I still liked it. I thought the third one was
pretty bad.
The ending.
Third one's really bad until Monica gets pushed out.
Yeah. To me, honestly, this episode and the third episode are very much the same case of. To me at least, I didn't hate either episode, but both episodes felt like they were doing nothing to really push the story forward, and neither episode was doing anything too creative with its setting gimmick, and so it was just kind of killing time till you get the big ending, whoa moment.
Right. Yeah, because this was clearly setting up the next 2 weeks, because apparently Marvel hasn't confirmed it yet, so I'm waiting for them to confirm it before I say, yes, this is fact. Apparently, the last 2 episodes are going to be about an hour long each.
It
seems like there's a lot to do.
This one of those interview things where somebody was misquoted years ago, where they said it's a Marvel movie in 6 hours, and people are extrapolating the math with it, and they're saying that because this much runtime has happened so far that the last 2 episodes.
No, I believe it. I just think they're just going to double the length of the credits, and there you go. You got an hour.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
They do have so many credits.
It's going to be Endgame credit long, where that was
with the signatures. They're all going to have the signatures.
They're all going to have signatures at the end of every show.
What you've also got to understand is if they put an end credit scene right at the end, then they can count the entire thing as actual footage from start to finish, from the time the first to the last shot.
No, you're right.
Counts as not just the runtime of the movie. It now counts. So
the end credit scenes at the very end of the credits is going to be Wanda making coffee in the next episode, and then episode 9 is going to be Wanda drinking the coffee.
Is she gonna put that really thick sugar in her coffee like she did in Legos?
Yes, she is.
I would think she would have given up coffee after Legos.
No, she's lost her mind by this point, so she needs coffee.
She needs all the coffee in the world. Yeah, give me that caffeine.
Just gotta
I
keep
know
it
how
up.
that is.
All right,
I'm drinking more coffee than ever, and I've completely gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
So I was gonna say, just to kind of steer it and sort of start to wrap it up. Where do you guys?
That was the best line. I bit a kid once. I had to say that one. I bit a kid once. Like my God.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Malcolm, because I just saw the comment drop before I was about to speak. That was a report that went around. Obviously, that was proved to be false, but I don't know the source of that, so I don't know how legit that ever was. So
Ralph
the reason I think they're going to be longer personally is because, so you're right, that 6 hours thing is what they're being held to, and it doesn't have to exactly equate to 6 hours. But the reason I think it is because originally it was announced as 6 episodes. And then at some point they switched their verbiage from 6 episodes to 6 hours. And then it was revealed that the show is 9 episodes long. So I still think the footage count is somewhere around, maybe just under the 6 hour mark.
If you include the credits.
Well, his thing, they say it's 6 equivalent of like 3 movies. We're just assuming it's 2 hours. A movie to be classified as a movie only has to be 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
So
this seems more like one long movie.
I think at the very least the finale will be longer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because they tend to do that. Like with The Mandalorian, both finales were a decent length. Like the rest
But
of the
I don't think we're gonna
season,
get close to 6 hours of footage. I think it'll be like 4 hours of like footage when you put it all together.
which is cool. I'm cool with
Which
that.
is fine.
I
love 4-hour movies. Snyder Cut, guys. Yay!
I don't mind as long as it's good. Like my thing has always been and again I was talking about this with a friend of mine this week. I think one of the biggest bullshit claims with these Disney Plus shows is the runtime. And again, it goes back to what I was saying about people criticizing based off of expectation. I think one of the worst things you can do is criticize something for a runtime that was never promised to you.
No.
They never promised hour-long episodes. They promised you a show.
And it's not like they have to
do
disclose
it
it to networks. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it used to be like you'd look at like the TV guide and you'd see like, okay, that's a half-hour show because it's this time slot, this time slot, this time slot, and like occasionally you'd get like a rare 20-minute episode of like The Office if like some like sort of debate or something happened.
Right.
But it was always, television was always a very predictable format. As far as runtime goes, because they had to adhere to those network broadcasting constraints. But with streaming service, you can have it as long or as short as you want. So that's what they're doing.
True.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was gonna say, to kind of go around and start to wrap this up before we move on to this next conversation. What do you guys think? I guess you can go as deep and nerdy as you like. Where do you think the last 2 episodes are going? I think we can all agree that they're done with the sitcom gimmick. Because if I'm being honest, I don't think there's been a hugely original concept for sitcoms since the Office thing was introduced. I don't know if there's another more modern gimmick they can try and follow. So I think they're done with that. But I guess we can go around the horn.
NBC's powerless.
Who wants to, go ahead and start. Where do you guys think it's going to go?
So my whole thing is I do believe these are going to be an hour long, the final 2, or close to an hour long. It will probably say an hour, but it'll probably be like 40 minutes with 20-minute credits. And I think each episode, from this, most recent episode to the final episode are going to have credit scenes. I think there will be a mid-credit scene next week, and then obviously, I would be shocked if there wasn't one in the series finale, season finale. I'm assuming series because I really don't know why they would do season 2, just based on what it's leading towards. So speaking of leading, this and Spider-Man are all leading to Doctor Strange. I already think and some people brought this up already too, as like, oh, what if this happened? I think the multiverse has already happened with J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, there he goes.
He's a Nexus character.
He got taken into the Hex. But I think it's already started. He's back.
J. Jonah Jameson's back?
James Jonah Jameson. I think that was the James Jonah Jameson from the Raimi universe. Obviously, time has passed, So that's why I think he's used to the whole digital way of doing the news and whatnot. So I think it's already began. I don't think that was just like, that was a nice ending to, Spider-Man. Like, oh, that's just a cool little Easter egg.
Thank you for math, Malcolm.
Yeah, so there we go. But it is set before Far From Home.
Yes, that is correct, yes.
But the
Intentionally
multiverse,
silly.
I believe, has in WandaVision began to open up. That's why I 100% believe this Pietro is the Pietro from the Fox X-Men universe. Because, like I said, I believe that Charles saw something begin to open up. He saw Wanda in the Hex. He sent Pietro to, the Hex to try to get Wanda to stop. Because I think he knows something's going to happen.
And Western New Jersey isn't that far from Westchester, New York.
True.
It's true.
So
I hate how you're being bought into this.
So he saw that. He sends Pietro to the Hex so he can convince Wanda to stop. That's why we hear the alarms going off. Anytime somebody enters Earth, whether they're coming into Earth or out of the Hex, you hear the alarms go off. The alarms, the sirens, they go off. He gets into the multiverse. He's Quicksilver. He's fast. That's why we don't see him. That's why they don't see him. And when he gets in there, Agatha knows that there's somebody new in here. I think she has an idea of who it is. Controls him, and that's why he's under control. That's why he knew, that's my sister.
Aaron's so sad at this.
Because I think this episode...
such a headache.
I think this episode proved just with the whole theme song of Agatha that I think is true. Either it's Pietro or it's the twins.
I think he's right.
Scratchy too.
Fuck yeah, I love
you
that.
see in the window something moves before Pietro shows up.
True, but Mephisto is Senior Scratchy. But to get back to my thing, she controls him. We saw that in there. That's why I don't think Wanda created that Pietro. That's why I think it is from the Foxverse.
No.
I don't think it's just some random person that just walked in, because they would have known. So Xavier sends from the Foxverse, sends Pietro to Wanda to try to stop her. Agatha knows that he's not from the Hex, controls him, to kind of get Wanda to, be, I guess, a little more easy to control.
Malleable.
I would assume. Makes her a little more vulnerable emotionally. Yeah. That's why in was it episode 6 when they're at that movie thing, he's talking to her and he kind of already knows, right? I think that information was given to him by Xavier. So I think we're gonna officially find out towards the end of the episode whether it's Patrick Stewart rolling on in or whatever. Somebody from that universe. I think
from Mount Paramount.
In some way we're going to find out that was from the Foxverse. I think we're going to officially find out Agatha killed the kids, whether she ate them or not. But it was so she could bring Ralph, a.k.a. Mephisto, back. That's what I think we're going to get. And it's not going to end happy. It's going to end sad. No. And it's going to lead... This was probably going to be the third show from Disney to come out for Marvel.
It was.
This is going to lead right to Doctor Strange, and then we're going to have to wait for a year until Doctor Strange comes out.
This was their third priority as far as TV goes. Like when they were pushing things, this was, you could clearly tell this was not their first priority, and it's really amazing.
Yeah. So I think it's going to end strong. I think it's going to end.
But see,
not happy.
It's an interesting theory.
Well, I was going to say, I'll go to Grant next to go into it. I'm sorry. I just have to comment. I don't 100% agree that this wasn't their top priority. Why would there have been discussions of putting an end credit scene related to this show on the end of Endgame? That, to me, spells that there was more reordering of the shows than what we thought.
I think that's another
they also said that they were gonna do one for each of the TV series. It wasn't just one alone.
Okay.
But I don't think it's
the same. You think that could be another possibility? I don't think it's about McAvoy. Yeah. I think it's either going to be McAvoy or Patrick Stewart. That's kind of who I thought the big surprise was. I was leaning more towards Patrick Stewart because of the Paul Bettany interview where he said, this is somebody I've always wanted to work with. And this, getting Pietro from the Foxverse, it's a pretty big, like whoa thing. But to me, that's not like a Luke Skywalker in the Mandalorian type of cameo. And maybe that it was their cameo. Maybe it was. Maybe it's Reed Richards. Maybe it's Deadpool. I don't know. Maybe it's Tobey Maguire.
Paul Bettany and James McAvoy have worked together.
Okay, so if it is Professor X, then it would be it would have to be Patrick Stewart. I don't think I think Toby
which wouldn't make sense. No, I'm sorry. Your theory falls apart for me because that Pietro was never with Professor X. But
it's from
Patrick Stewart's Professor X.
But continuity, schmontinuity. They don't care about continuity in the Fox thing.
Grant, go. You'll say something that'll piss me off less. I hate the multiverse.
Okay, I think it's a very interesting theory for something that's completely wrong and it's never going to happen. But it's interesting nevertheless. Yeah. You're forgetting the one thing. Disney has a mandate of the things that they want for the future. Your story works, except for one major flaw. That would mean that the person who brought everyone in, who was essentially the hero of the day, was a man, and they don't like that idea. They're moving towards the MCU, having the all-female-led Avengers. That's what they're looking for. All the characters, all the female characters are coming in. You've got a Hawkeye series, which is essentially Kate Bishop series. You've got all these series that in the future that are coming in. They've already stated that they want to push the females more. This will be the perfect way to do it. They're not going to do anything too tricky. I agree that we're overanalyzing it and everything, but I think that's the fun of having a week series, because the discussion and everything is more important than the reveal. But what they're going to do is they're going to be working towards bringing full female Avengers to there, and this will be their sort of setup. You'll have someone like Jimmy Woo going around essentially being the Coulson Fury type sort of thing, because one, he's not a threatening male figure. He's the comedy relief. They've all got it over him, so he's never going to overshadow any of them, especially with everything that's going on and Feige's politics when it comes to stuff and the overcorrection of the Me Too movement. This is definitely where they're going to go, because this is where they feel is best for the brand. I don't think it's best for the brand. I like stories, whether it's male or female, as long as they're told good. But this is where we're seeing it going, and this is where I think it's going to be pretty simple. It'll be Captain Marvel in the end, and they'll be setting it up because you left me, you left my mother to die, blah blah blah. I was off doing other stuff. Thought we were friends. I made you your suit. Civil War Part 2. You got them versus that way, and that's how it'll go down.
But here's the thing. Patrick Stewart has already met with Kevin Feige. He says he turned it down.
Yeah, he turned down Picard 5 times with CBS. So there's precedent to suggest that he would come back after turning it down. Like, he's stubborn at first, but you can loosen him up.
Look, Wanda was the one that caused Multivision to open up. She brought him in. That's their way.
I don't think that's what's happening, Aaron, if that makes you feel better.
Well, so it's not even a multiverse thing at that point. For me specifically, with everyone saying, like, bring Patrick Stewart back or bring Hugh Jackman back, I hate that, because to me, one of the best comic book films ever made is Logan, and I think that's a beautiful send-off for both those characters.
Right.
I think there is such a thing as we don't need to go back and ruin it. Not every franchise needs that one more edition, and I don't think they need to go back.
Member berries equal money.
They
doesn't matter what you think. There's going to be 30 or 40
Star Trek money. You don't need this.
By the time that you die, Wolverine's going to be 30 or 40 more different things.
Yeah. And it will be a different Wolverine. Like, and that's another thing with the multiverse thing, Aaron, that I know you don't like. And they do this a lot on The Flash too. They even just announced that, like, John Wesley Shipp, who played Jay Garrick on The Flash on Earth 2 or on Earth 3, and then all that multiverse was erased. They just announced that he'd be coming back to play Jay Garrick on a different Earth.
He's playing Jay Garrick in Earth 2 back in 1945 at the formation of the Justice Society. Yeah. That's completely different.
What I'm saying is that they'll have a flashback episode, face, but they won't be the same character. Like, so just because they have the same face doesn't mean they're the same character.
That to me is even dumber.
I don't even think Evan Peters is Pietro. Like, I don't even think that that's any version of Pietro. I think that's just magic.
To me, this is just my, and again, we've been over this time and time again.
No, I get it.
To me, it's just, I think the multiverse is something that can work in comics, sure. I hate that they're going there in film because I think it completely overcomplicates storytelling, and I
Yeah.
think that's a lot to try and explain, and I think it only can work within certain situations. Like the concept
Yeah.
worked in Spider-Verse simply because it's a film built entirely around the concept of you doing this. Whereas the multiverse idea that everyone is proposing that the MCU is going with is a multiverse that's being established in a universe that's 23 films and one show deep, and it's
Yeah.
a multiverse that is bringing in and colliding completely separated film franchises. We're talking now 3 or 4 film franchises
Yeah.
colliding into it. I just think that leaves opportunity for fucking up really
And
easily.
that's
And I
why I
don't-
don't think that's what they're doing with the X-Men. The X-Men are too important to do that with, but I think that there is
I'd
a
rather see them
possibility.
rebooted again.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You reboot it, but you keep some of the same actors because you're gonna have to keep like Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. So and some of
Well,
those
yeah,
performances are really good. But what I don't think that any of that multiverse stuff is going to be like part of the plot. I think the most that it's going to have to do is that's kind of what it's going to be a consequence of what Agatha is trying to do. Might not be intentionally what she's trying to do, but because they stop Agatha, it will become like the multiverse of madness. And I thought that Vision was going to die. Like I really thought Vision was going to die, but you go through those Paul Bettany interviews. He had an interesting line where he said, "I'd tell you who it is, but then they'd fire me." Yes, a multiverse of madness. There you go.
So,
but they said then they fire me. If this is supposed to be his last project, is the Vision, how could they fire him? So I
think that's a joke.
It could just be a coy joke, but I'm re-examining.
No, he's
going to die.
He's expendable. I mean,
yeah. Oh, I don't.
He's easily expendable.
I wouldn't say that.
Now, if this makes you feel better,
penis?
Aaron,
vibranium penis.
What happened?
Venus. It's the Venus.
If
this makes you feel better, Aaron.
They'll be hammer over the head with the MCU stuff, but I don't think they're gonna try to overcompensate because they're not gonna do what you're saying. Well, I don't think they're gonna do what you're saying, but every time we get a female character, we're gonna get that like commercial pep talk, like we did in this episode. And I don't think she needed that. Like we see that she's a strong woman.
No,
she doesn't
honestly, I would have been cool with just the visuals because again, same friend I was talking with. He said the visuals to him reminded him. No, it was not Kevin Feige. I have met him briefly once, but not Kevin Feige.
Oh, good for you.
He said that to him the visuals actually reminded him of the 2015 Fantastic Four film, especially with her wearing the spacesuit and all that. But a better version, obviously. But he said to him it seemed very reminiscent of that type of an effect. But yeah, I would have been cool with just the visual. I don't think we needed the Captain Marvel pep talk over it, but to me it didn't ruin the scene. It was just kind of okay, we're doing this.
Because if they were pulling from like multiple different movies and like showing you her, that would be one thing. You're pulling from only a couple of scenes, so that's why
she's only in one film. She's in one film as a kid, and she's in this, so it's kind of hard.
Like you're just giving us voices that we know because they don't have Sam Jackson and Carol Danvers on the screen right at that moment.
Right.
Now, if this makes you feel better, Aaron, I do believe with multiverse stuff, it's going to end in Doctor Strange. I think
when
Doctor Strange ends, he's going to close it, and then Deadpool will be the only one that gets stuck in the MCU. Everybody else will be gone.
They can even tie that into the end of Deadpool, too, because he has the time travel thing, and he's fucking with everything already.
They could
the most with Deadpool, because he already did it.
And look, they may not have Professor X as the cameo, but I like I said, I do believe he was sent, whether it was from James McAvoy's or whatever. When it started to open up, I think he was sent in there. Look, the big cameo could be Reed Richards. It could be, anybody. Or it could be just some character that we don't care about. But
I was gonna say, sorry, finish. I didn't mean to start cutting you off.
I was saying, my theory still stands as far as he gets sent there, but as far as a cameo goes, I don't think that affects the theory at all because we could see him or we couldn't see him. Who knows?
All right, so
who really knows? We shall see.
True.
Here, before we move on, here's my multiverse hating plain Jane predictions. I think the cameo. I think the cameo, and I don't think it's a cameo. I think there's a lot of twisting of words there. I think the character that people are addressing is Mephisto. I think we're going to meet the actor playing Mephisto in this, and I think it's going to be some bigger, grander actor, which may lean towards why Bettany is saying it's someone I've always wanted to work with. It could be like
what if Mephisto is Patrick Stewart?
It could be like a Patrick Stewart, and that I could live
awesome.
with. Like that I'm cool with. I don't like the idea of that type of
we
crossover.
We said that at the exact same time. That was hilarious.
So,
he's also never worked with Adam Sandler, so...
It could be Adam
Sandler.
No.
That? He was great in Uncut Gems.
Oh, God. No. It's Adam Sandler from Uncut Gems. He's just in there, and he's horrible.
That's fine. I'll take him.
Shoot him. It's going to be Matthew McConaughey. It's going to be Matthew McConaughey. All right. He's already said he's talked with him in the past before.
Yeah, but I want him to play Osborn. And does anybody know what the situation is when it comes to having... I think I know the answer. I think they can do it when it comes to Spider-Man characters on TV, because all the animated Spider-Man TV shows, those are all on Disney Plus, but then the movies are because they're Sony. But TV is different.
The contract did say that it would include one Spider-Man movie and one cameo. So maybe that cameo is for the shows.
I'm not talking about Holland in particular. I'm talking more with Sony, like how it works with Sony. Do they have shut down Spider-Man TV stuff?
Without knowing the details of the contracts, as far as I'm aware, they're not treating their television series like television series. They're treating them all like films.
More cinematically,
like the actors are using film slots on their contracts to act.
But it's a technicality. Like it's going to be nominated for Emmys, not.
So I don't know how that works. But like I said, just to finish up,
interesting.
I think the big twist is Mephisto. I think that's who the actor is. I think. Right. I don't think the astrophysicist or whoever it is they're going to meet, I don't think it's someone big like Reed Richards. I think it is another comic character, because I've read online there are other comic characters that can fit that description. I think it'll be someone that a deep cut may recognize, but I don't think it's going to be anyone huge. I think the actor bring in is Mephisto. I think Vision's dead. He's dead as a doornail at the end of this. I don't think there's any other way because, and again, I hate that the actors are opening their mouth every week and saying something, but another comment Tiana Paris made this week is that she basically indicated that the ending of the show is sad and it's like a tearjerker kind of thing. I don't think there's a way that this ends.
There's no way this can end well. Yeah.
And so with that being said, I like to kind of address some of the other things. I think the kids are dead. And I think that's another thing that'll hurt her. I think that here's my theory with Quicksilver. You're right. I never thought about the alarms blaring thing, and that I have to rewatch that scene to see exactly how that plays out, because that may affect it. My thought with Quicksilver has always been, I think that he is actually, when Jimmy Woo was first introduced, they referenced that somebody has been roped in, that he was chasing, that he was trying to get a missing person from witness protection. I think Quicksilver could play something into that. Like he's somebody else that was important to them, and he's been looped into this somehow.
I think it's a Hydra doctor.
Or it's someone who is, I think it's someone who is associated with the government, because I think there's a reason he knows enough about her, but not everything, because when they were doing the conversations between her and Pietro, it's like he knows a lot about her, but he doesn't seem to understand the intimate details, and they're using that as the hinting, saying it's not Quicksilver, but they're doing it. I don't think it's a multiverse thing. I just think Evan Peters is brilliant stunt casting, and it is brilliant stunt casting. I think it was brilliant to do it because it sends people down that hole, but I don't think it is.
That's what the J.K. Simmons thing is too, and you don't need multiverse to have the same characters have the same face. But what you said about with the missing person, the witness thing, I said a few weeks ago that I thought that was Dr. List. And I still do, because he gets a name check in Endgame. And like that's a character that was like Dunzo at that point. Like, what's the point of mentioning like that character? They mention it. Sitwell says on the elevator, "We'll have the scepter en route to Dr. List." So that's why I think, because he's the one that made the Mind Stone, activated their powers with the Mind Stone. So that's why I think he was the missing person in witness protection, because Hydra personnel would have to be in witness protection.
Right.
I just thought it was the mailman because he seems to be popping up a lot more in every episode.
Right.
True.
Maybe the mailman is Ralph.
I think he'll play into something too. I just don't know what. There's a couple of pieces that could be something. I know, like we laughed at it as a joke, but I'm gonna go back up to it. I actually don't hate this theory. I think it would be kind of funny that because that's a trope that's been done in other shows. And WandaVision has shown that it's not afraid to take tropes and try and twist it into something positive. I mean, they're literally mimicking other show formats with this. Right. I actually don't hate that. I never thought of that, but I actually kind of like that. Of course, she'd be controlling Pietro, Senior Scratchy. Rabbits can kind of run quick. There's a little bit of a weird comparison thing. I could see it.
Right. It's just when, we go through the whole montage with Agatha, and we see Pietro go up to the door, we see her, do the hand thing, and we see the,
she's controlling
purple
him.
magic stuff go to him. That's why I don't, I think it's funny, but I don't think, that's legit, kind of like in Harry Potter with the rat turning into whatever the guy is. I don't think it's that type of situation, but I do think I don't know. The rabbit is Mephisto, guys. The rabbit is Mephisto, and that is Ralph.
I think the rabbit might be Pietro, if anything.
The rabbit is Ralph.
It's Ralph. Ralph the rabbit. But if it was Pietro, why would she be using her magic when he goes up to the door?
Because she put the rabbit's conscience. She swapped.
The intelligence of a rabbit.
He swapped them around. That's why.
He's a rabbit.
My theory's correct. That's all. I think there is something up with the rabbit, though. It's either Mephisto or it's Ralph, and she just turned Ralph into a rabbit because she was just tired of Ralph being, annoying. She was like, I'm going to turn you into a rabbit. That's what I think.
And with that, we'll go ahead and move on to, I made the joke earlier, Star Wars is not wrought for controversy, and, I referenced this film earlier if we want to talk about things people hate in Star Wars. So Rian Johnson was giving an interview this week, and in it he very, very likely indicated that his previously announced trilogy is still in development. Now, a lot of people assumed that this was not the case. It was not mentioned at the most recent Disney investor call, I called it D2020, the big thing at the end of the year where they announce all their projects. His name was not brought up there, and obviously a lot of people know that his project was announced alongside the likes of someone like D.B. Weiss and David Benioff getting their show. Obviously, that's no longer, their movie, that's no longer in development either, and a lot of the projects that were announced alongside them are no longer in development. So this was certainly an interesting development if it is still being worked on and it's just not something they're touching on for the time being. I guess I'll start it off before I go to you guys. I don't hate this. I don't think The Last Jedi is a perfect film, but I am on the more positive end. I do like the film. But I think outside of it, Rian Johnson is a brilliant filmmaker, and I think the problem with that trilogy as a whole is none of the films properly connect to each other because there wasn't a story established. I think Rian Johnson could have made a much cleaner film if, let's say, JJ had written the script and Johnson just directed it. I think it would have been a lot cleaner of a film because I don't think he faltered at all on the directorial side of things. I think he got the performances he wanted. I think he got the shots he wanted. And I think he wrote the script he wanted. And that's the problem, is it doesn't, even though I don't have a lot of issues with it, the general reception is it does not connect properly. And I will agree with that, especially when we get to the third one. There's just not a lot of connection between them. I think if Johnson's giving complete creative control over his own trilogy and it's just pick your sect of the universe and go, I think he can deliver a really, really good, solid product. So if this is still in development, this excites me. So go ahead, one of you guys. What are you guys thinking about?
All right, I'll start off by just saying this the whole reason this is going on and everything is because of two words: fade in. the stupid Kathleen Kennedy bloody Oscar video that she did that blew up in their face, and everyone was talking about it. And all of a sudden, he comes out with this, "Oh, I'm going to be directing another 3 of them." He's going to be saying the same thing in 20 years' time. They didn't announce it to anyone prior to that, so there's no way in the world it's into. This is purely and simply a diversion, a smokescreen, just to get them to say, "He just focus on this, focus on this." Everything that happened previously with Corona, now she's doing a film somewhere else. They don't have to, people are going to them about stuff about that. They're like, no, look at this, 3 more movies. So the problem that I agree with what Aaron said about him being a good filmmaker, but on a much smaller scale. Stuff like Brick and Looper and that were fantastic films. I think his secret, he just needs Joseph Gordon-Levitt with him. That's all he needs. So
he was in the Jedi. Cameoed, but he was there.
There's a stupid thing, but yeah, and the stupidest part of the movie as well.
True. So
it's hard to determine what's the stupidest part of the movie. You're gonna have to be more specific when it comes to that film. No, but this is purely and simply a distraction, a smokescreen, because they fire Corona. Then Kennedy goes on the Oscars thing saying about they're there to empower women and everything like this. I mean, for God's sake, if they're going to get her on camera, don't give her 20 Xanaxes beforehand. Like,
I didn't know this was a thing. Did Kathleen Kennedy do something for the Oscars?
Oh, dude, oh my God! They put it this way: the Oscars stopped any commenting on their channel because people are like, well, if you're empowering women, why aren't you showing pictures of them? Why aren't you doing anything about it? Why did you fire? What? Because Kathleen Kennedy had a history. Yeah, that's literally was one of the comments. And she's not doing anything for any time she comes up against a powerful woman, they're gone. It's happened with a lot of the writers. It's happened with Carano and everything, and it got lambasted. Then all of a sudden, you've now got Rian Johnson coming out going, "Oh, my trilogy's still in there." I could literally guarantee if I had a time machine, I'd go 10 years into the future, jump on Twitter, type Rian Johnson thing. The first thing will pop up is, hasn't been confirmed yet, but just spoke to Disney. My trilogy's still in the works.
And here's what I like about Rian Johnson is like just a contrast to like Kathleen Kennedy just as a producer. Rian Johnson makes stories about powerful women. He doesn't talk about it. He just does.
Johnson. You're doing
Johnson.
Rian Johnson.
Yeah, Johnston.
I didn't say Johnston.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
I
think it's because you
talk funny. It doesn't matter. You guys are changing the subject.
I'm just trying to help you.
Good like female characters.
He's doing what Rian Johnson does, smokescreen, to distract us.
Yeah. But I think that this is a loveless marriage.
I'm a trilogy for Star Wars. What can I say?
I think this is like they don't give him any love at the D2020. I think this is like Dr. Dre's Detox album. They're gonna keep saying that it's gonna come out. It's never coming out, and then Rian Johnson will just fade into obscurity, and we won't even ask.
So hold on, Nikki, just because I think that's a brilliant comparison. Can I ask you?
I listened to Dr. Dre, Aaron. Yes.
No, I love Dr. Dre too. Forgot about Dre's a classic. Still DRE. All those songs are great. So if this is Detox, what's the Compton Companion album? You know, the one that he never announced that we just kind of got.
Well, it would have had like a Eminem collaboration on it, so probably the Clone Wars animated movie.
That was just disappointing.
All right.
I tried, guys. I tried.
Well, I want to get into this. So, as probably out of anybody that's a part of the channel, whatnot, the biggest fan of The Last Jedi, because I absolutely love it. I've explained why before, the difference, how different it is. It like, if we continue to go Force Awakens route, even though I love The Force Awakens, I thought that was a great way to bring Star Wars back for the old generation and the new generation, bring them together. If we continue to do that, though, I feel like Star Wars would have burnt out quick. So I felt, The Last Jedi, not only is there great performances from Adam Driver, I think Daisy Ridley was really good in it. Mark Hamill's phenomenal in the movie. I feel like it was a good refresher in the sense of we're not going to get burned out. It's adding different, and I think we need to add different things into Star Wars to make it last as long as it can. So with that being said, this trilogy is not happening. Now, I think if we would have a Rian Johnson trilogy where it's not based off of the Skywalker saga. It's his own thing where he's creating these characters. He's writing the characters as Nikki gives a BJ to his lightsaber.
No, I was breathing out laser. I was breathing out laser breath because you're I was like,
sure you were. If a trilogy like that's happening, which I truly believe that's what he was planning on doing, I think that would work better because as an overall trilogy, it would feel like it actually was planned out and would have a connection. These movies, I think there was a plan. I think JJ had a plan. I think he wrote out, a trilogy. And Rian Johnson said, no, I don't think this is really the best way to go. Let's do this instead. Or Disney was just like, do whatever you want, Ryan. Do whatever you want, because that's how Disney...
The only reason I refute what you're saying is because they offered JJ the chance to even write the film, and he did turn it down. He may have had like a couple page treatment with his ideas.
Yeah,
but the moment you turn down the opportunity to write it is the moment you lose control.
But it was his idea to leave. Like everybody blames Rian Johnson. No, it was his idea to leave Luke Skywalker on that island. Like JJ was going to do the same.
It was George Lucas's idea. That's the thing. Out of all the
movies, it was Kennedy's. Kennedy was the one that said that she wanted to have three separate things. She did not want any. She did not want those three in a scene together. That was the point. She wanted them separated.
What I'm saying is, in George Lucas's planned thing that came out, he had Luke Skywalker on an island as a hermit, kind of like a Yoda. I'm not saying this was exactly like George Lucas's thing, but out of all the sequel trilogy movies, this was the one that actually took some things, some influences from that trilogy and used it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he went word for word or he took the story and used that. No, he took ideas from there and put it in there. Like, because in George Lucas's script, Luke Skywalker was on an island. He didn't want to go back. Something happened. And then he eventually decided to train, who had the Padawan or the Jedi that went to the island, which was Rey. That was what he had, because it was kind of like the whole Yoda thing where something happened. Yoda said, I got to go in exile. Boom. And then he doesn't help Luke, even though he doesn't say, oh, we got to kill, we got to let the Jedi die. He doesn't, Yoda doesn't say that, but Yoda eventually goes, okay, I'm that. And then Obi-Wan, I think, is the one that tells him, you need to...
Yoda was a bit of a dick leaving Grogu there, but that's another story.
True. But,
sorry, guys, I've just got a heat warning on my phone.
You're good. We love Disney. We love Facebook. We love Google. We love China.
Just basically what we're saying is don't criticize, just consume product. Just consume product.
Consume. Don't hate, love.
Consume, don't question. Consume for the children, guys.
Listen,
this is the way. You're trying to brainwash. You really are. For the children, this is the way.
The mouse got Grant. But anyway,
I used to work for the mouse. I still have my pay slips.
Okay, there you go. But no, this was out of the movies. What my point was, this was the one that was closest to George Lucas's story in the sense of it took things from there. But if Rian Johnson, knowing that he's an incredible filmmaker, he made the greatest episode of television of all time.
Sorry, I was going to say, and honestly, you know what I accredit that to? Honestly, even more than JJ, because Larry Kasdan was the co-writer.
True, yeah.
I think that's all Kasdan and his connection to Lucas rather than anything JJ contributed.
True. I think that was also another. And you can tell he wasn't involved with episode 9. But I think a lot of people, even the people that hate The Last Jedi, agree that Rian Johnson, outside of Star Wars, is a great filmmaker. He made Looper. He made Brick. I don't love Knives Out, but I like Knives Out a lot. I think I liked it a lot.
Knives Out has the stupidest plot hole that I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah,
somebody who's taking morphine every day would know if they just overdosed on morphine.
Look, he probably was just like, kill me. But anyway,
still would know. His back would hurt.
He was a mystery writer. He probably wanted to go out in a super fun way.
Yeah.
Oh, so he was. It had nothing to do with that. He was just egotistical, and it's like, yeah, this is a good way to go.
This is what George Lucas would do if he was in that position. He would be like, let's create Star Wars. Let's have Luke Skywalker come and save me, and I'll play Obi-Wan. Anyway, I think if Rian Johnson didn't direct The Last Jedi, and let's say his first Star Wars movie was this trilogy, I think it would be more well accepted because it would be outside the trilogy. I think him doing his own thing, if it happens, it won't come out for a long, long time because he
Right.
just has so much stuff. He has Knives Out
Yeah, he's
2 and
got
other
projects in
projects.
development. And to be fair, I'd rather him take the time to really
Sure.
gestate and plan what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because even if it comes into a case like, and we've seen where it hurts. Like I'll use another example, the Jurassic World trilogy,
Yeah.
where Colin Trevorrow's since talked about how even though him and Derek Connolly wrote the second film,
Yeah.
even he still felt there was a bit of that weird disconnect because he didn't spend enough time on it because he was so busy prepping for Star Wars,
Right.
which obviously worked out well. Um, and
Yeah.
so there is that thing of it's not just about having the same person write it; it's about making sure the effort really goes into it.
True.
And so I'd rather him take the time to write it and really know what he's doing before he goes forward. Just in the event that someone else does direct a chapter, at least they know what they're getting into.
Right. And that's what I like too. But and I do want to talk because I can't remember who exactly said that. He was. I think it was Nikki that said that. They basically are distancing themselves from Rian Johnson in the sense of there was really no talk about him at D23 or whatever.
There was not.
I think the reason why we're not hearing much at like these conventions or at investor meetings right now is because I think Disney realizes we need to have some time. Let's let some years go by on The Last Jedi, and once it's been 5, 10 years or whatever, then we'll start bringing him back up. We'll start, getting him ready for his trilogy. Because will it happen? I doubt it. At least, and if it happens, I don't think it's going to happen for a long time because he's busy, and I think they want to try to do some other stuff beforehand.
The only thing he's working on is Knives Out 2, though. That's not busy.
He's got other
Look
things.
what Favreau's doing. Like one movie is not that busy. He's like a prestige filmmaker, sort of. Like he only really does like one movie a year, one movie at a time. But like Knives Out 2, that seems like a movie that they could like hash out in a couple months and still
That's not
like
Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson likes to take as much time as he feels like it needs to make sure the movie is done right. You can't just rush something.
I don't think it shows. My favorite Rian Johnson movie is The Last Jedi. Like I love The Last Jedi.
I absolutely agree with you on that. I think that is his best too.
I think Looper is really like I don't think he's thinking it through. He always like what you said. He thinks it through, but he almost overthinks it. And then what ends up the final product is like, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but what?
I like
that's just my take.
Knives Out a lot, and he wants to take his time to make sure the second one is just not a turd because there are sequels that aren't great compared to the first, especially when the first movie is considered to be as good as what a lot of people consider it.
I think it's fine, but it's just like if that's like your you don't delay working on a Star Wars thing for Knives Out too. That just seems like such like
you also have to remember if we're looking at it because remember he very much is in the sense of his personal feeling. He is kind of an auteur filmmaker. Star Wars, as much as he may love the franchise and he may still want to work on that trilogy, Star Wars for him will forever be connected with years of internet hate, and Knives Out will forever be connected with the film that resurrected him in the eyes of the audience because the film was incredibly well received. It was incredibly successful for its budget, and it was a multi-Academy nominee. Like, it did for him what it needed to. People were counting him out. There was literally internet hashtags saying, don't go see Knives Out because it's from the guy who made The Last Jedi. And the film succeeded despite that and put him back in good standing. I think he would push Star Wars to work on this simply because he's passionate about it, he wants to do it, and he has a better personal connection to the material than he currently has to Star Wars.
True. And also, I think what Disney is going to do, and I could be wrong on this, I'm just kind of throwing this out there, You're correct, Chris. It is a pretty good.
It's fine.
Fun
I don't dislike it at
enjoy
all.
it.
It's just
Seems like you do, Nikki. Seems like you
no.
hate this movie.
It's just like there were a lot of movies that came out that year that I liked a lot better. I don't think that Knives Out is the benchmark for Rian Johnson. Or I did it again. I just did it again. Fucking A.
It's the golden standard.
I can't say his name right. Rian Johnson. I just don't like see every time somebody like brings up. Well, yes, Knives Out redeemed him. I'm like, I thought The Last Jedi was like 10 times better than Knives Out. Like,
right. And so, I'm speaking from a point of general consensus, right? You obviously have in the moment have the contrarian opinion.
That's weird.
I do think Knives Out is a better film. And I say that as somebody who likes The Last Jedi. I do think Knives Out is a better film. But to me, he didn't need to be brought back. But it's a film that took people who hated him and then brought him back into good graces. So I think he has a better connection to the property.
But what I think Disney's going to do,
hate him.
I could be wrong, but I think this is what Disney's going to do. I think before we get an announcement of Rian Johnson's trilogy happening, whether it happens or not, if it actually is happening, before we get that announcement, I expect him to direct an episode of one of their shows, whether it's Mandalorian, whether it's Book of Boba Fett, whether it's Ahsoka. He's going to direct an episode or two of television that's going to allow the fans that don't like The Last Jedi but like Mandalorian to begin to be like, okay. And then they're going to start to be fine with him coming back. That way, when they make that announcement that he's directing his own trilogy set however long ago or whatnot, people are going to be... the ones that hate The Last Jedi or just don't like it are going to be a little more accepting of it. That's what I think they're going to do. He wants to direct an episode of The Mandalorian. He came out and said, hey, I like to direct an episode. So if he directs an episode, it ends up being great. Because they got to make sure the episode is great that he's going to direct. I think that's how they'll begin to do it. And I think that's how they'll begin to announce if the trilogy is happening that, hey, we're going to do it. They're going to try to get people to be more accepting of him in Star Wars that weren't a fan of his, and then we're going to get the movie announcement if it happens. All
right. Well, certainly an interesting discussion behind it. With that, we're going to go ahead and move into the next topic. This week, This week, we're going to go ahead. What's up, Jacob? Welcome back, man. We're going to go ahead and move into the next topic. This week, we had two big trailers for two big upcoming projects this year come out. Now, if you want a full-on individualized reaction, something that we're starting to do here at TMG is trailer reactions. Matt personally reacted to both of these trailers. I want to get in on this as well if I ever get to a trailer before Matt does somehow. The man's just always there when they come out. So we had trailers for Mortal Kombat and the upcoming Disney film Cruella come out. So let's go ahead and get into this. Matt, obviously you did the reaction to both, so people can go and get your full-on reaction if it's needed. But what are your thoughts on these two trailers?
So, Cruella, or as I've heard some people call it, 101 Dalmatians and Emancipation of One Cruella de Vil. I reacted to it, and I have to say this. It was uploaded at 8 in the morning. I get off at 6:30. I get home, done eating, all that stuff, about 7:30. And I watched the trailer. I was tired. And when she uses the, match or whatever, and it burns
I saw
one
this
thing,
in the comments. Yeah.
I thought she had magic. And I was like, because I thought she just kind of snapped her fingers and then the dress turned up. I was like, well, for one, if it was a match, that's a weird way for the dress to go up. But I was like, what the hell? She has magic in this movie?
So
I was wrong.
So because I you know how before the trailer, which I hate this trend, but before the trailer they do a 10-second mini trailer
In case you skip
marketing
the ad.
it.
Yeah.
Right, like it's so weird. So that shot's in that, and when I saw that shot, I had the same reaction as you. I was like, "What the fuck, is she magic now?" And then when you see the full shot, it is kind of poorly planned, but it's
Yeah.
like she has the dress on, she like strikes the match, and then drops the match to the floor. She like steps her leg out so it hits the bottom of her dress and burns upwards.
Yeah.
It's such a weird dynamic thing to happen, but it's like, all right, sure, why not?
You know what? I gotta address this comment really quick. That I don't know who it was that put this out, but please do not put this out. Whoever put this out does not reflect their employer's thoughts.
I said we'll see. I said I don't think the three of us care about that, but we'll see.
Paddington 3.
Is that you commenting? I was wondering which one of you was doing it.
I will be right back. You know what? One of you guys.
I didn't think you guys cared.
One of you.
There wasn't a lot of other news this week. Of course, it's in there. Come on.
There was a lot of other news. They casted a new Supergirl for the Flash movie.
All right.
Like, that's news. Paddington 3 isn't news. I'm sorry.
Honestly, I forgot they cast somebody as Supergirl. So, I mean, she's a nobody, right?
It's okay, Matt. You can come back. I don't hate Paddington. There's not much to say. Like, there's not much to say when it comes to discussing a Paddington 3.
I'm so excited to see what this
are you? Is he in the X? Is he gonna get the Infinity Gauntlet? What are we gonna say about that?
So I'm with Matt. The Cruella trailer, it certainly did. I saw a lot of people comparing it to Joker on the internet, which is kind of funny because I can totally see it. It is weird how much it kind of does mix with the like anarchist thing, but you know what, this is a movie that I have been excited for simply because of one name involved. Now, as much as I love Emma Stone, and I think it's like Paul Walter Hauser is one of her henchmen, like as much as I love those names, those aren't the names that excites me. The name that excites me is the director, a gentleman by the name of Craig Gillespie, whose most recent project was I, Tonya, which was an incredible film. And him directing a Disney film is the most interesting director pick since they had David Lowery direct the Pete's Dragon remake, which was also a really solid film. So this interests me a lot. I like the approach they're taking. I actually did watch your trailer reaction for this one, and I like that you called out this seemed like a project that was built to go the Maleficent route of she starts out good and then she turns bad. Nah, she's just a straight up bitch from the beginning. She's trying to skin dogs from minute one, and I fucking love it. Nikki, did you even see this trailer?
I saw it.
What'd you think?
Okay. Before Nikki gets into this,
I thought I was watching a Sia music video at first.
So,
but then it evolved, and it's like, okay, it's Emma Stone. I'll watch it. Like it'll be on Disney Plus, right? Or is this one getting a theatrical run?
It's theatrical, but Nikki, you said that we don't care about Paddington 3. Well, why do I have a giant fucking poster of Paddington 2 on my wall?
You are misquoting me. Let's pull up the quote. I said, I don't think the three of us care about Paddington, but we'll see. No, I didn't think you cared.
See,
look at the fucking bear. What I was thinking, I didn't think you cared. I didn't think.
You know how adorable it is? I'm sorry Hugh Grant's not in here. Hugh Grant's behind my Star Wars arcade 1-up machine. There's a giant Ferris wheel. It's over there.
But I said we'll see, and now we've seen you obviously care about Paddington.
You have Shape of Water lady right there, and you have Paddington Bear.
Malcolm, you are absolutely correct. I think Emma Stone really is good casting. She had a convincing British accent, which can be difficult at times.
Mortal Kombat's what I want to talk about. I mean, come on.
We'll get there in a second.
Narratives in the D.
What are you going to do with Cruella? Like, how is that happening?
Because it's essentially, to me, they're taking while it's not copying Maleficent in that they're not trying to make her a good person. To me, I'm telling you, The director is the thing that makes this inspired.
Yeah.
Craig Gillespie made a film in I, Tonya in which your protagonist was the antagonist, and he made it really, really well, and he made it in such a
So
way
for
that
someone who doesn't know that director, though, what's the pull for like just the average audience? Like the pull of Joker was like, see how he became the Joker, even though he's not the Joker.
So let me sell it to you this way. As someone who hasn't seen his film, and I don't know if he's directed anything else that would have been. I know he was an indie director before, but so essentially, I, Tonya is a film about obviously Margot Robbie plays Tonya Harding.
Oh no, I've seen I, Tonya.
Okay, so right to me, him getting put on Cruella is them saying they want to make a film in a very similar light where she is going to be the bad guy. I don't think she starts off as a good person. She's the bad guy, and you are seeing 101 Dalmatians from the bad guy's point of view, and you are going to understand the bad guy's point of view, but they're going to do it in such a way where she becomes compelling to the viewer while still clearly being the bad guy, you know? So
she's going after the Dalmatians in this movie.
Yes, you are going to see her want to see.
That was my problem with Joker, is because it said, like, see him transform into the character you know. No, that's not the character I know. The character I know fights Batman. That guy's not going to fight Batman. So like, that was my problem. But if she's actually going after the dogs in this movie, thank you. I'm interested.
Yeah, no, this movie is setting out to make you care about a woman who wants to skin dogs for a cute jacket. And that's
I think I could relate to that. I was happy the dog died in WandaVision, so...
You're a monster.
I'm a monster.
First you say that you don't think we care about Paddington 3, which is completely another lie. I care about it.
Well, what's there to say?
Paddington Bear, okay? We love Paddington Bear, okay?
I don't.
And then now you're saying you want Doggo's dead?
I just don't understand what there is to say. Like, wait, what's there to speculate? Wait. They're making Paddington 3.
The Mortal Kombat trailer came out. That was another trailer that came out.
Paddington 3 versus Cruella de Vil. Mortal Kombat.
And the Mortal Kombat trailer, as I stick a pike through the two of you and scream, "Get over here!"
It's not gonna.
It would absolutely happen.
Finish him.
Hard bear stare.
Honestly, I thought this trailer was fine. I think it looks cool. For most of it, I was pretty sold on the dialogue and the way it was written and the way they were explaining it. I'm sold on it. I like most of the effects. I like that right off the bat they weren't scared to go, no, this is R. Like, it's a red band. Which I like that they released a red band without announcing it as like red band trailer. Like, no, this is just, it is red band. That's what it is. And 30 seconds in, you see Jax's arms pop off. And it's like, oh, that's why he has robotic arms. It's like, cool. I like that type of shit. And so, essentially, I like what they're doing on... Sorry. Paddington versus Cruella, Dawn or something.
Wait until you hear my Aquaman versus Black Adam pick. I mean, that's a movie that people want to see.
Do me a favor, write that script for me and make the Wonder Woman of this film Brendan Gleeson from the second
Paddington film. That's the best part.
Film.
There's no script. They just fight. The whole movie.
Yes.
There's no plot. There's no reason to it. They just do it.
This is what's going to happen. I actually got an exclusive clip of
here we go,
Cruella
guys.
v. Paddington. And this is a scene where Paddington actually has a hold of Cruella. Here it is.
Cruella loves killing animals. She would win. Now we're never going to be able to get Campy on the show.
That was a clip you took. So, anyways, I thought the Mortal Kombat trailer was fine. There were a couple of weak points in it for me. I thought when they started interspersing some of the video game dialogue, it wasn't quite translating. It came off as very half-assed, half corny. I also thought the effects on Goro looked a little unfinished, so again, that's just me hoping they don't cheetah this and it still looks the same when the film comes out.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about it?
She turned into a cheetah lady.
Dude, that effect looked terrible.
Her dreams came true.
Cats look better. What do you guys think about this?
I think that it looks great. Like I first saw it like on mute, and then I like unmuted it. I'm like, this movie looked better on mute. Because my whole problem with Mortal Kombat, and this may be a very unpopular like hot take for hardcore Mortal Kombat fans, I always thought that if you're gonna make a Mortal Kombat movie, don't have it center around the tournament. Because if you're not a fan, like if you're not like a gamer per se, and you're just like skipping the cutscenes in a Mortal Kombat game and just fighting like the people, like you're just playing the game for fun, the whole entire tournament story aspect, like that always was stupid to me. Like they have Injustice Gods Among Us, which is essentially Mortal Kombat in the DC universe, but that's Mortal Kombat versus DC universe, different game, much worse. But Injustice, the plot isn't we're gonna have a tournament to see who will fight Superman at the end of the game. That part of it always turned me off. It seems like they're kind of massaging it into the story a little bit more clever than just like an adaptation of the video game is. But some of the effects, like the scene where like Scorpion cuts, Sub-Zero cuts Scorpion, freezes the blood, turns it into a knife, and then stabs him. I love that. That was the coolest thing ever, because I never would have thought of an ice-powered villain freezing blood like that, and I just loved it.
Yeah.
So, I said this in the reaction, which you guys can obviously check out. I said the movie looked fine.
It looks alright.
It looks fun. Like it looks like it's just gonna be a fun little movie of just fighting. It's Mortal Kombat. This isn't a Citizen Kane, Empire Strikes Back, Godfather, type of movie. This is we're not trying to win an Oscar for Best Picture. We're just gonna have you sit down for an hour and a half to 2 hours. We're gonna give you a good time. I don't care if things don't make sense in this movie, unless it looks like The Mummy 2 with the Scorpion King. I could care less about the visuals in the movie.
That was a great video game.
Like it was a fantastic video game. As long as it's fun and it's not like Underworld where it not fun and there's no story, I could care less. Just give me a good time. This honestly feels like it would be the perfect movie to watch when you're high. This is like a get drunk and watch type of movie, or get high with your friends and watch type of movie. That's what this movie is going to be. This movie is not going to make sense at times, I get a feeling. The visuals aren't going to be great, because this comes out in April. We don't have a whole lot of time. It's less than 2 months now until this movie's out.
To be fair, though, I thought, with the one major exception to me being Goro, I thought the rest of the visuals looked pretty solid. For a film that had a smaller budget, I thought they looked solid. And that's the thing people have to remember is, especially with VFX like we're talking about, Mortal Kombat didn't get hundreds of millions of dollars, and that was even pre-pandemic. This is an under $100 billion budget, so this is like Deadpool level. So if they can even get somewhere like that, I'm cool with it.
True. And also, another thing, what I was going to say, as far as this movie goes, James Wan, I believe, is involved with the movie.
He produced it.
Oh wow, that means it's gonna be gold, like just like the Citizen Kane of anything, because Aquaman was so good.
So I didn't watch Aquaman.
I'm kidding. But Furious 7's fun, man.
Yeah, like
Aquaman has Amber Heard in it. I mean, Furious 7's good.
Even before all that stuff came out, I didn't watch it. I was going to, and then I never got a chance to see it in theaters, and now I honestly just don't care. But
the best part of Aquaman
is Aquaman. We can watch that.
See, here's the problem.
I need to watch Aquaman.
Here's the problem with Aquaman, in my opinion. The best part of that film was Yaya as Black Manta. So when he gets blasted out of building halfway through and he's done for the film, it's like, okay, I don't fucking care anymore.
I completely agree. Right. And the score is kind of like Ocean Master. Boom, boom, boom. Like, it literally does that.
They should have... Here, Matt, here's a reason for you to watch Aquaman. Pitbull has a remix of Toto's Africa in it.
Can I just listen to it? I can just find it on YouTube. I think I did listen to it.
Put in Fast and Furious, but James Wan said it was a nod to his Fast and Furious days. That song isn't in the Fast and Furious movie, so I don't understand.
Doesn't Pitbull have music in Fast and Furious?
Yeah, Fury. They all have rap soundtracks.
Everywhere. He's Mr. Worldwide, all around the world.
They all have rap soundtracks, I think is what he's accrediting it to.
Right.
Like See You Again was from Furious 7, like that type of.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good song.
It is.
I mean,
but...
I think I listened to that version, but I mean, look, Like I
Yeah,
said,
see,
Mortal
Malcolm
Kombat.
gets it.
He's right.
It was
Pitbull's
awful.
remix was awful.
Boom,
Um,
It was terrible.
That's not going to get me to want to listen to it.
So
But,
I was gonna say, yeah, wrap up Mortal
Let him
Kombat, and then
finish him.
I'll talk one more thing.
So to
Finish
finish the thing,
Get over here.
like I said, looks fun. Doesn't look like it's going to be a masterpiece. Really, they don't have to do much with this movie to make it enjoyable. Just you know, if you're going to go dumb, don't go too dumb. Like I always say, some of the Fast and Furious movies, I feel just get too dumb with some of their stuff. Go dumb more in like a Central Intelligence kind of way, where it's kind of dumb fun, kind of.
Does it make you feel any? Does it make you feel any better if I tell you the most experienced writer out of the three helped co-write Wonder Woman 1984?
Oh God, that's
good, but it can be better.
Downhill.
Hey, thank you, Wonder Woman
down.
1984. You gave me the most views I've ever had on my channel, so thank you very much.
Oh, I am with Malcolm now. I now have extremely low expectations. I thought the trailer looked fun though.
It looks fine. Yeah.
Fun, bloody. I'm glad that it's not going to be PG-13.
Have no expectations. That's how you go into a Mortal Kombat movie. You expect it to suck, and then you're
But that's
only
me having expectations.
Yeah.
Honestly,
the
thing
I
I'm looking
get what you're saying.
the thing I'm looking forward to most.
that leftover soda.
It is
Yes,
probably.
leftover. I have a leftover Pepsi over there too.
Nice. Mix it with the leftover Coke, and you got yourself a Saturday night.
You got a
That's
Pepsi
like
Coke.
that is like telling Jesus and Satan to get married. It just does not work.
Oh,
They should. Jesus and Satan get married.
All right. So before we
With
move
Paddington
on,
being the usher.
Squash the beef.
according to the chat, I'm sure Matt didn't see it. I know I fucking didn't because I didn't know it existed. Apparently, there was a Justice League Snyder Cut
Yeah, I
trailer
have no idea
again
what
this
the hell
week.
that is.
Yeah, there was.
Did Nikki? Do you want 30 seconds to talk about it?
I'd love to
Yeah,
talk
what the
about that.
hell's- What the hell
Go
is
ahead.
Justice
I
League?
didn't know there was another one. So
So, this trailer, I did not like it as much as the quote-unquote Hallelujah trailer that they had. But we see some stuff in this trailer that's just, like, wacky. Like, the Joker thing with, like, it looks like he's wearing his SWAT vest again. But he's got, like, different things on. He's got his hair. It seems like we're going to get at least a significant chunk of this movie.
we both clicked on it at the same
Will
time. I think.
be an extended, like, nightmare sequence, like that nightmare future.
Yeah.
And then...
Oh
like,
wait, is this the trailer with the Joker in it?
The
I thought that
Joker
was
is
Suicide Squad
yeah.
2.
It's Jared Leto's Joker. It's a Joker that actually interacts with Batman on more than one occasion.
Is that
He doesn't
trailer
dance
this
on
week?
stairs. And guess what? No tattoos.
I
So
thought that was Suicide Squad 2.
no, Suicide Squad 2 is actually called The Suicide Squad, and it has Arm Fall Off Boy in it. Nathan
Didn't the
Fillion is
Suicide
Arm
Squad
Fall
come
Off
out
Boy.
in 2016?
Boy.
Or
No,
2017?
it's great.
Didn't that already come out? Though?
Okay,
The
so
Suicide
I
Squad?
have
No, it's going to be on
I
HBO
apologize.
Max and theater the same day. Come on, guys. The Snyder Cut trailer,
Anyway.
that did a reaction to
I
it.
did a reaction to it.
Did
Did you?
looking forward to
Yeah,
it. They
did you do
didn't
it?
show Amber Heard in
Okay.
this trailer, so I know you're happy about that.
So
I-
okay,
I-
so
there was
I'm
no
being
Amber Heard.
totally honest with you. I did actually see the trailer. I forgot that it came out this week.
Well, it was
so I
Sunday,
get-
so it's
I
like
get- I guess that tells you what I thought about it. Honestly, I'm gonna watch the movie for the sake of curiosity. Like
I'm
I'm
ready
gonna
for it.
watch it and give it a fair shot, but I'm not anticipating it. And this trailer did nothing to make me anticipate it. I did think the Jared Leto thing was cool. I'm curious to see what the
Okay.
really new take on this
What's more
character is.
anticipated for you, Paddington 3 or this?
Paddington 3.
Are you
Paddington
fucking
3.
kidding me?
It's Paddington
No,
3,
those are
Nikki.
good films.
Get
Paddington
go.
Paddington
You're
have
gone.
historically good
Paddington
films.
3. He's out. He's done. We have to leave. We live in a society. That's true. We live in a society where Nikki wants to hate on Paddington 3. Okay? We do not accept that.
Wait till he comes back and realizes that legitimately Paddington 3 is the first story of the next set of news stories that I have. That wasn't a joke. It actually was up next.
There you go. There you go. No, but
I was gonna do the close up and do the live read of it. It is up next.
I fully expect the Justice League
Let's bring it
movie
back in.
not to be good, like Malcolm
I'm
said.
hoping for the best. I'm hoping for the best.
Me too. Nikki's gonna make the cut for me. I'm gonna watch it.
The amberless cut.
The Nikki cut, the Snyder cut.
So
Who do you
can
want to play Mira? We'll deep fake it.
Can we get a cover of it, Nikki, where it's Nikki Sullivan's Zack Snyder's Justice League?
I was gonna say
I have a Maxim magazine that has Amber Heard on the cover.
I was gonna say Christopher Plummer, but with him being dead, I mean, maybe not. So
might have to pay his estate.
Maybe
you
have
you could do Tig Notaro.
Tig, Tig would be great.
You could do Tig Notaro.
Why do you have to bring up Tig? Now we got to talk about Tig for 20 minutes.
You could do Tig.
Because she replaced Crystalia in the other Snyder film.
We would love to have Tig Notaro on this show. We just awesome.
You have ScarJo in the movie. You could have Tyrese Gibson in the movie. You can have Kevin Spacey in the movie. Tom Brady could be in the movie.
Hold up. Did you just say you accept Kevin Spacey as Mira over Amber Heard?
He never played a good guy.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
He never played a good guy, though. That's the thing about Kevin Spacey.
He's a worse human being than Amber Heard.
Never expected him to be a decent person.
I will say he's a worse human being than Amber Heard, even though he didn't take a dump on Johnny's bed or cut his finger.
I think that's like a moral argument there that some people.
We're gonna make Christopher Plummer as Mira. Please.
You know what? We'll do Christopher Plummer and we'll separate it and upload just those clips to the channel.
I mean, she stabbed him.
Look, can I make it clear? She did bad things. Kevin Spacey did worse, I'd say. Now, if Johnny would have died, then Spacey isn't as bad. But point being, let's put Christopher Plummer as Mira, like Malcolm said. We'll make it happen.
Well, I mean, Mr. Spacey may have put something in my drink, but it didn't. No, I'm kidding.
You're not 14.
All right. Well, with that said, let's go ahead and tentatively get into the last set of topics for this episode. There wasn't a lot of huge news this week. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the one movie news read. Let's go ahead and get into this, and I am going to preface this. I said it when you walked away from the camera. I did not edit the order I'm about to read these in. This was legitimately how I pulled it and wrote up these stories.
Son of a bitch.
With that being said, this week on our only set of mini news stories, Variety reported this week that Paddington 3 is officially in development. David Heyman and his studio, his studio, are said to be working on the film. However, the one piece of news that will possibly disappoint Paddington fans is director Paul King, or as I call him, not Wes Anderson, director of the original two films, will not be back as director for the third film. It is said he will be involved in some capacity, although it's not known if it'll be as a writer or simply as a producer. King is currently busy working on the reboot of Willy Wonka alongside David Heyman, the producer of the Paddington films. Up next, another report from Deadline reported that Jordan Peele is busy on production for his next written and directing feature, and he is currently in the process of casting his leads, the two of which will be Get Out and Judas and the Black Messiah star Daniel Kaluuya and Hustlers co-star Keke Palmer. So far, it is not said what the film will be, although many assume it will be another race-related horror film, and Peele has commented previously saying that he wants his next film to be more traditional horror than necessarily the message horror that we've had in his last two films. Our third story this week is Deadline reported that Joaquin Phoenix has joined Ari Aster's upcoming new film Disappointment Boulevard, which will be distributed by A24. It is currently unknown what the film will be about, although it is rumored that Aster is potentially looking to step away from the horror genre, meaning that Disappointment Boulevard could be the first in what is a new take on a genre from director Ari Aster, who is known for directing horror films Hereditary and Midsommar.
And Power Rangers fan films. And Power Rangers fan films.
I mean, maybe
you did a Power Rangers fan film. Yeah.
Sure. With that being said, I believe all of these actually, 3 of them came from Deadline. Another report from Deadline. Edgar Wright is apparently involved to co-write and direct an upcoming adaptation of Stephen King's book, The Running Man. The source from Deadline says that the movie will be closer to the original book itself, and it will see Edgar Wright reunite with his Scott Pilgrim vs. the World co-writer Michael Bacall. It is not known how fast-tracked in development this film will be. Wright had previously made it known that he had finished working on the script for an upcoming sequel to his 2017 film Baby Driver, and Deadline reported that they do not know which film will be given precedence. So there we go. Some news stories.
I was thinking Adi Shankar. I was thinking somebody else.
Yeah, Adi Shankar has done other stuff.
I will say,
I get bad names.
Ari Aster did direct the short film before.
I'm sure he did do short films.
Have any of you seen The Strange Thing About the Johnsons?
No, I don't even know.
I'm assuming it's their Tiny Johnsons.
So, The Strange Thing About the Johnsons. I never knew he directed a short film or whatever that was out on YouTube, and it is on YouTube, I believe, still. And yes, Jordan Peele is always a win.
And as somebody who just saw it last weekend, I don't know if I'm confident in saying win, but if he doesn't get nominated, that's a damn shame. He was fucking brilliant in that film.
That's what I keep hearing. I gotta watch it sometime soon.
He's so good in it.
I gotta watch it tomorrow or sometime this week. But if you don't know what The Strange Thing About the Johnsons is, and I'm telling you, I found it, online. It's like, hey, he did this movie, and this was after I saw Hereditary, and I liked Hereditary, so it's like, okay, I put it on. It is fucking weird. I'm telling you. So to kind of, without spoiling it, and this might kind of give you a little sense of what it's about.
He did
about this family.
Yeah,
it's not Snowpiercer, but it's about this family, the Johnsons. Hence the name. It's about them. And there's something weird about the father and son. So Paddington. To get to Paddington, because I want to talk about Paddington, because Paddington deserves... I think when we do watch-alongs, I think Paddington 1 and 2 definitely should be the first two we do. Because they're legit phenomenal movies. They're fantastic.
They're legitimately brilliant films. Nikki, if you've never seen them, to me, they are so... Have you seen them?
I saw the first one.
Okay, what did you think of it, out of curiosity?
I just didn't care. I was not moved by it in any way.
Look, you wanted Dogs Dead and WandaVision and then Cruella.
I didn't say
thing.
I wanted the dog dead. I said I'm glad that Agatha killed the dog.
And then you said you're glad that Cruella's gonna want to kill the dogs. It's like, no.
I want to relate to well, that was more going off of the joke from before about killing the dogs on WandaVision. It was
okay.
I was going with it. I'm playing a character. I'm playing Cruella male.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, I see.
A male Cruella DeVille. That's what we need.
Phenomenal movies. I wish that they got the original director back to direct the third. At least he's involved in some way.
Now, here's the interesting thing, and I want to propose it to you. And again, I don't mean to cut you off. It's more just while you're speaking, I want to throw this to you. The film that he is working on that's keeping him away from Paddington is Wonka, which is he's working on the Wonka film. But that is also being produced by David Heyman, who I believe is the head of Studio Canal, and he's involved with them, and he's also the head producer of the Paddington films. Do you think there is a chance that maybe they delay production on this a little bit to give him a chance to come back, or do you think he'll just stay out of it completely? Because Wonka is set for a 2023 release right now, so that would probably mean they wouldn't be able to release the film for another 4 years at least, 5 years.
I do. Troy, I love you.
Michael Vick. I mean, Michael Vick sure knows how to throw a bitch around, but
yeah, that's true. But no,
wait a minute. I defaced a Michael Vick jersey on one of these streams before.
You did, but nobody
saw it. I have
defaced
a Michael Vick jersey on this very program before, so don't align me with him.
It's not recorded.
Michael Vick.
I also bought a Michael Vick jersey, so that does. Here's the thing. I defended Michael Vick for the one purpose that look at Ben Roethlisberger. You want to hear cancel culture gone wrong? Why the hell is that guy still like out there?
The cases are proven to not be enough. I think they settled it. Like I think she's like I like. I
I'm
think she's
fine with
gonna.
teddy bears. I just don't care about Paddington. Like I don't care about a movie about it.
If you don't like
And when it
British,
comes to the dog, my mom never let me have a dog. So there you go.
if you liked British people, I think you would like Paddington. But
I
no,
don't.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy Paddington is coming out. I love Paddington 2. If they would have ended it with Paddington 2, I thought that would have been a great ending. The credit scene that plays in there with Pierce Brosnan is awesome. I love it. Yes, he did. He did.
It was a Vic Eagles jersey, and I got it on sale and tore the letters off because seven's.
That was post dog fight. That was post dog fight.
Yeah.
So there you go. But no, I'm very.
You got a
happy
great
about
deal
that.
on it though.
Yeah.
I do like with Ari Aster. He's doing something that isn't 100%. I thought I read it was horror comedy. Thought it was a mix.
That might be it.
Huge Grant.
Yeah, you're right.
It
was huge. Huge Grant.
If it wasn't obvious, I was reading skim reports there, so it may be horror comedy and I missed it. But I do know for a fact it's not straight dark horror like his previous. Because I mean, Midsommar. If you look at that as a comedy, you're a sick, twisted fuck.
If Disney made a horror film, that would be Midsommar.
I could see Disney doing
anyway,
that. Just Mickey Mouse tribally running around with his balls out.
Yeah, that's true. But I wasn't a big fan of Midsommar. And speaking of that, what is up with Ari Aster's fascination of having just naked guys and like all his stuff?
Dude, he just likes a good.
I want to see his cut of Age of Ultron.
It's a good one. He likes the girth, but I do like that he's getting out of that because I did like Midsommar, or not Midsommar. I did like Hereditary. I do like he's kind of going to do something else because I think for filmmakers, it's a good thing to branch out of the genre that you're used to doing because it makes you a better filmmaker overall. It gives you more strength when it comes to your filmmaking style and just ability in general. That's why I like with Star Wars, Dave Filoni doing Mandalorian stuff. I like that he's doing it because it's given him more strength in that field. So I do like that he's doing that with Joaquin Phoenix. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is somebody that doesn't just choose a script to choose it. If he feels like it's going to be a good movie, then he'll do it. So maybe it's Joker 2 that he's actually doing.
No, God.
No, I'm kidding. I wasn't a big fan of Inherent Vice, but I mean, The Master was a really good movie, obviously, and he's done other great ones too. I like that he's kind of
Joaquin's a great performer. And I was gonna say I'll touch on the other two briefly. Obviously, there's not a lot about Jordan Peele, but the last time Jordan Peele and Daniel Kaluuya worked together, they both got Oscar nominations out of it. And I mean, I'll tell you, we've talked a lot about like as a film community, talk a lot about nominations that deserve to happen that didn't. Talk about a surprise nomination that was legitimately deserved. I never in a million years would have thought Daniel Kaluuya would get a nomination for that film. And when I read it, I just went, good for him. Like, he'll never win it, but good for him for getting that. Sure. And he'll probably get at least another nomination this year. He's a great actor. So I'm looking forward to that. And I really like, as somebody who likes the original Running Man film, but to me it falls very much into that late 80s, early 90s corny Schwarzenegger thing that he kind of had going on. I like Edgar Wright, and specifically, I don't know a lot about Michael Hall's other films, but I like what they did together on Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. That might be my favorite Edgar Wright film, honestly. It's that or Baby Driver for me. So I like that they're coming together to work on an adaptation of The Running Man. I like that they're sticking closer to King's original story. And to me, that's a great duo that can really do something unique with that film, because I think they can take some of the weirder stuff that was implemented into the Arnold film and do it with their own twist while still keeping the seriousness and straightness of the story, because they've shown with Scott Pilgrim they can adapt no problem and keep the essence of a story while making it their own thing. So that really excites me.
Sure.
Nikki, any thoughts before we wrap it up?
Yeah. I tried watching What was that other movie he did? Hereditary?
Hereditary. Yeah.
Oh, Ari Aster, Hereditary.
Yeah. All right. So he wasn't who I was thinking of.
No, you were thinking of Adi Shankar, the guy who produced like Transylvania, or not? Is it Transylvania?
No, he wasn't even the one that I was thinking of the second time around, because
Transylvania is the Adam Sandler animated movie. No, that's
even after that, I was thinking the what was the movie? Parasite. I was thinking the Parasite guy.
Oh, Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah,
oh,
so I was
that's why
gonna
you
make a
said
joke about
Snowpiercer.
subtitles and.
That's why you said Snowpiercer. Okay, so you're correct.
Yeah, I
Bong
was
Joon-ho
like,
did make Snowpiercer.
It's not my cup of tea. That's like not the type of movies I gravitate towards. But like occasionally, if Chris Evans is in it, I'll watch one. But it's good Bostonian Chris Evans, just all around good guy. But yeah, I don't think much of this. I'm more likely to watch Paddington 3 than probably a Hereditary style movie. Horror movies make me sad. I don't want to be sad.
Well, nobody wants to be sad. And on that note, I think that's the show, guys. We've had a fun 2 hours. Thank you to those of you who were watching. We really love, obviously, anyone who watches us on replay later. We appreciate you guys checking us out. But we love having people here live. We love getting to have that interaction with you guys. So thank you to those of you who are in the live chat tonight. We really appreciate you guys being here and watching us for the 2 hours. Thank you to Grant, who had to drop out about halfway through, but thank you for being here for the earlier discussions. On behalf of Nikki, on behalf of Matt, if you guys would go ahead.
I want to say really quick, and I'm going to get the thing. There's something I want to bring up that I think...
I'm not going to kill any dogs.
Great. Good. I appreciate that. So, you can look this up on Twitter. I'm having a hard time finding it anyway. So, because of the Carson Wentz thing I have on there, there was a kid, Jacob knows who it is. His name's Giovanni. Big fan of Carson Wentz. Has, I can't remember exactly what's wrong with him, but he has some disability of some sort, whether it's like a mental disability or physical disability. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Really upset. I want to give a shout out to all the Colts fans on there. I just saw that they gave him a care package of some of the players that signed autographs for him. They're getting him tickets to go to at least one of the games. They're getting his hotel paid for, flight paid for, and they're gonna, he already knows Carson. I think they're actually friends, but they're gonna do that. So I know Travis is one of the guys' names on there. Shout out to you guys for doing that. That was really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime people can come together and do something great for another person is an incredible story to hear. So absolutely, shout out to them, guys. Thank you for bringing that up before I closed it out. Always good to end on good stories and not bad. But with that said, guys, those of you who are here, be sure you're subscribed to the channel. We talk about it on all our shows, but we're doing more and more to try and pump out different varied types of content to kind of garner people's interest. Just kind of run down the line. On Mondays, we have Schmo Talks that goes up. That's my Schmodown related show. On Tuesdays, Matt and Alan have their political show that goes up. On Thursdays, bi-weekly, I believe, we have Inside the Horseshoe, Matt's football show that goes up. Every Saturday night, we're here with After Dark. Sundays, tomorrow, we have the Supernova show going up at 12. That's our more geek-related show hosted by Colton Roberts. And obviously, more and more, when stuff comes out, we'll have trailer reactions and things like that going up. And we're still not even maybe done. We're always looking to bring more interesting content. Be sure to check out TMG Trivia. Right now, our unfortunately, due to complications, but it is what it is, our unedited Geek Tournament is going up, so you guys will get to see all the fun behind the scenes in addition to the great matches, because they really were some great matches. Be sure to check those out. In the meantime, while all our trivia leagues are gearing up to get a new season going in the next couple of weeks. That said, on behalf of everyone here in the show and TMG, my name is Aaron Knoll. Thank you guys for checking us out, and we will see you guys next time. Have a great night, guys.
Have your pet spayed or neutered.